And with that, another year has come to a close. I mean, Hollywood really didn't want to pay its actors and writers, content farms again plagued YouTube, and our government has really shown how complacent it is and if it hasn't already. But hey, it was probably just a rough year. Maybe 2024 will prove to be all the better. Well, at least I have a car now. Another year has ended, and that means it's time to rank movies, baby! This was the year that the entertainment industry really felt the effects of the 2023 strikes, as it forced movie studios to delay numerous releases, and box office numbers were down due to the big gaps in movies that looked interesting to audiences. Not that every movie this year was released in theaters, obviously. Keep in mind we're in the streaming era now. Hopefully not for long, but again, Hollywood did take a pretty significant hit even if it was still able to thrive this year. But what about the quality of these movies? Which ones are the big hits and which ones are the big stinkers? I would give the law an answer, but considering how much movies I watched this year and the time constraints I have, I'm gonna do something different and review my top 5 best and worst movies of 2024. Some people will go back and forth between the best and the worst on these kind of lists, some would do it separately. I'm just gonna do the latter, which means I'll be doing the bottom 5 worst movies first, then the top 5 best movies last. Hey, come on now, I like to end my videos on a high note. Sometimes. Obviously, I'm not gonna talk about every movie I've seen on here, so if you're curious about my thoughts on them, I have an entire Letterboxd list up for public viewing, plus some of the videos I already did on them. I think I've explained enough, I'm just gonna get to it so I'm not wasting any more time. I mean, time wasting is probably why my over 700 subscribers don't even watch my videos, haha!
What's wrong with reggae?
Oh yeah, this was a thing. I'll admit that I wasn't somebody who grew up on Bob Marley's music. I do remember hearing 1 or 2 songs from him as a child, but for the most part, I don't have any fond memories of anything he's made. I guess that's part of the reason why I didn't get into Bob Marley One Love, but most of it is because it's just kinda boring. Kingsley Ben-Adir plays Bob Marley really well here, though he kinda looks like J. Cole, and his performance is the one thing carrying this movie. Everyone else does a good job, and I like how it captures mid-70s Jamaica, but those are honestly the only positive things I can say about this. It plays by pretty much every music biopic trope in the book, and doesn't really do anything all that new. Well, I guess except for—
What? He has a gun? Don't shoot!
That was something that actually happened. But you wanna know what else allegedly happened? Bob Marley forcing his manager to end their contract at gunpoint. Why that wasn't included, I don't know. Actually, wait, it's obvious. From my understanding, if you've seen some other music biopic before, then you've pretty much already seen Bob Marley One Love. It's not that bad, it's this year, and well, it's a way to go, I guess. This actually started as a viral YouTube short released back in 2014, and it eventually became a full feature-length theatrical film. In fairness, I do applaud indie filmmakers for making it into the big leagues, and this film is no exception. It's just that Night Swim is an incompetent mess that wastes an okayish premise on a hard-to-follow plot, cheap scares, and characters that put me to sleep. Also, they involve baseball in this for some reason, I don't know, but the inclusion of baseball just comes so the f*** out of nowhere, and it's kind of laughably jarring, like what's the point? Which reminds me, I flexed about this a few times, but you guys know former Detroit Tigers manager Jim Leland, right?
Now don't with me. I'm not with nobody. Don't with me, no. I'm not with this. I'm in it because I'm the manager of this team, that's why I'm in it.
I actually got to meet the guy a few months back at this free meet and greet he was doing, and better yet, I got him to do this for me.
Hi, I'm Jim Leland, former manager of Detroit Tigers, and I'm watching the Media Cheat Channel.
Shame I probably won't use it ever again. And the fact that I have more interest in talking about that just goes to show what Night Swim is in quality. Nothing else to say, it's just bad.
Hey, Patrick, what am I now?
Stupid?
No, I'm Texas.
What's the difference?
As you would have guessed by how I dedicated an entire half-hour video to this movie, Saving Bikini Bottom the Sandy Cheeks movie obviously made it to the bottom 3. And no, my opinions have not changed. I hate how poorly executed and written the story is, I hate how visually inconsistent it looks, I hate how every character is flanderized, dumbed down, and or obnoxious, I hate every single song, and did I say I don't like this movie? I guess I'll give it credit that shouting at this movie for 30 minutes straight pretty much got my channel to where it is today. I do kind of regret being part of the leak problem, though Paramount and Netflix should probably have better security. Yeah, you're just proving me right here. Hell, guys. But at the very least, I waited until after the movie officially came out to release the review, so it's pretty much fair game. All I'll say now is, thank you, Sandy Cheeks movie, for being explicitly hot garbage. I guess screaming at children's movies does solve your problems after all. Francis, what happened, man? You used to be so good at making movies. I still question how you went from being one of cinema's most celebrated filmmakers with Godfather and Apocalypse Now to directing whatever the hell Jack was. Okay, Captain EO was pretty fire. And now we have Megalopolis, which, while I appreciate Coppola finally getting it off the ground after so many decades to the point where he entirely funded it himself, is nothing but incohesive slop that just throws everything at the wall and embarrassingly tries to make them all stick together. Spoiler alert, it fails at it. Not made any better by the confusing dialogue, one-dimensional characters, and corny acting that would even make Tommy was so cringe. I'll give it that visually, it looks pleasant. The sets are fantastic and some of the effects are pretty well done. That's the only nice thing I can say about this film though. Something I will confess is that I did doze off during a small portion of it, so maybe there were some things I missed, but I don't think it would have changed anything. Megalopolis is just terrible. Don't waste your time with it. Oh, and Coppola is allegedly a creep, so f that.
It's a prank, bros!
Yep, surprise everyone, the worst movie of 2024 is Megamind vs. the Doom Syndicate. As someone who grew up with the original Megamind and remembering how funny, entertaining, and heartfelt it was, seeing how boring, forgettable, and horribly written its sequel is just pains me. Megamind is reduced to nothing more than a complete idiot. It's juggling between two groups of villains, and not only does it make the movie confusing, but none of these villains are interesting. Zero jokes made me laugh, and I honestly don't even remember cracking a smile. The animation is but ugly to where parts of it aren't finished, insert obligatory Schaefer-less reference here.
Shoot them with a dehydration gun!
And for a less than 90-minute movie, it felt like an eternity. Though that's probably because I so desperately wanted it to be over by the time it started. I have nothing else to say about it that hasn't been said already. This is not a real sequel to Megamind. It's just a god-awful imitation. I'm not even gonna bother with the spin-off series because after this, why bother? Maybe we should stop using monkey paws for wishes and use genies instead? Just a thought. Okay, let's get more positive here. Top 5, let's go!
I'm joy.
I'm sadness.
I'm anger.
I'm disgust.
I'm poo. Congratulations, Inside Out 2, for being the only recent Pixar sequel that has a good reason for existing. And won't be the only one for quite a while. I think I did say enough in my full-length review I did back in June, but to summarize, Inside Out 2, while only coming close to the original film's greatness, is a worthy successor. The story manages to differentiate itself from its predecessor in beats and maturity, the animation is a very noticeable improvement in detail and character design, I enjoyed the new emotions alongside the old ones, though I wish they had more depth, and its message, while basic, is used very effectively. Again, any comments I have, I've mostly already covered in my initial review, so while I'm not gonna go into any more detail about the movie itself, I will speak about something that does need to be addressed. That's right, more corporate Disney smack talk. You all love it so damn much, so why stop there? After the movie's release, many former Pixar employees came out with horror stories regarding how they were treated during production, including horrendous working conditions and the layoffs that left their hard work unpaid. Plus, just recently it was revealed Disney management has been wiring down messages in their upcoming films, shocker, including a trans storyline. headline, oh hey, I did a video on something like that. So I'm not gonna say this film's shocking success isn't deserved, that describes Moana too. But I will say it's kinda bittersweet. If you're getting flashbacks to the previous year, so am I. This is basically Across the Spider-Verse all over again if you know what happened. I'm glad Pixar finally got not just another hit, but another positive record breaker. But I'm also sad for the hard-working artists and writers that either didn't get paid due to being fired before its release, or were very mistreated during production. And with Elio's delay, it doesn't look like things are any better over there either. By the way, shout out to my mutual Jeff Movie Man for doing a better job at marketing the movie than Disney. I'm not gonna go into another full-on anti-Disney rant here. Already did them twice, plus people with constantly hard-throbbing Disney hate bombs already have enough material on the platform, but I'll just leave it at this. Love or hate Disney, there are real hard-working people involved in their movies and shows, and in any way you can, they need your support now more than ever because this industry is treating them like dirt. Of course, Disney is gonna milk this movie to death and learn every single wrong answer possible from it because they're Disney, but again, I can't say the success wasn't earned. Inside Out 2, while only coming close to the original in quality, is pretty damn great, and I'm happy for the crew behind it, even those who tragically don't have the chance to earn from its success. Also, if we're making Panic Attacks above a joke, then the cartoon community is just far from saving at this point.
Run! It's Godzilla!
It looks like Godzilla, but due to international copyright laws, it's not.
Oh, Monsterverse. I don't hate these movies, but man are they underwhelming. My biggest issue, like everyone else, is that many of the monster moments are shoved out of the way for human characters that were not only boring and didn't necessarily add much to the story, but also badly written in a way that just makes them unlikable. Though what I will appreciate about this franchise is that they are willing to listen to criticism and it helps these movies get better. Godzilla x Kong: The New Empire really shows how much this franchise has improved. Sure, the human characters are there, but not only do they have less screen time than the monsters, but when they are on screen, they can actually be pretty entertaining for the most part. I'm waiting for the Bunny and Trapper kiss scene in the next movie. Of course, the monsters take the spotlight. Especially in the fight scenes, it can get both brutal and even a little crazy. You cannot find this shot of Smug Kong anywhere else but this movie, and that is why it's the best shot in the entire franchise. So yeah, I had a lot of fun with this. I didn't have high expectations considering Godzilla -1 blew me away the previous year, but they managed to pleasantly surprise me and I'm happy to say I can't wait for the next movie. Which better have Bunny and Trapper kiss.
You're carried away!
I'm gonna kiss you on the mouth!
I don't know if this is gonna change anything, but I was never aware of the existence of the Fall Guy TV show before watching this movie. Yeah, I just wanted to say that. The Fall Guy is an entertaining flick that is both very engaging with its action and very funny at the same time. I'm surprised at how well Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt work off of each other, and their characters really do make a cute couple. They might not be Barbie and Ken, but their dynamic really adds to the experience. I'm kind of a sucker for movies about making movies, and this was no exception, especially with the use of stunts and actual film sets. Those were incredible. I gave this a 9 out of 10, but to be honest, I can't put my finger on anything I remotely disliked about it. Not even a nitpick. I guess it's one of those movies where you really enjoy it, but you don't quite see it as 10 out of 10 worthy. Maybe I'd have more to say if I got into the TV series it was based on, but for what it is, I had a really good time, and it's such a shame it bombed the way it did.
It's time to go to heaven, my child.
Stop it, what are you doing?
Stop it, don't
Stop it,
fight.
cut it out,
Don't
help.
stop.
If there's any film this year that I think is the most underrated, that title has to go to Heretic. It may not seem like much with the premise and with how almost 70% of the film is just talking, but I promise you it really is something special. To make it straight, Heretic can get into pretty upsetting territory. Religious or not, this film is definitely gonna have you thinking about things and possibly even put you through an existential crisis of some sorts, like I have almost every night. But trust me, there is a point to it. As depressing as this film can get with its commentary on belief, its thought-provoking messages do lead to something quite beautiful at the end. This might be up there with Everything Everywhere All at Once as one of the best films to come out of A24, and it devastates me that it's not getting the amount of attention it deserves. Whenever you get the time, please do yourself a favor and sit down and watch this. No need to thank me later.
I won!
Okay, if you watched my video on the Wild Robot, you probably would have guessed it would make the #1 spot, and you guessed correctly. Very telling of how DreamWorks is as a studio when they're both at the bottom and top of this ranking. But in all seriousness, the Wild Robot is the kind of film we really needed this year. It has a very heartfelt and touching story, the painting-like animation is gorgeous, all of the characters are lovable and their relationships make you tear up a bit, and its impactful messages of belonging and family is the cherry on top. Very depressing that this will be the studio's last in-house production, but this is a very satisfying way to go out. Nothing else needs to be said, just watch it. Hi everyone, Happy New Year. 2024 has admittedly been a pretty bumpy road. Sure, I finally got myself a license and they're in my 20s, but for the most part, I've had to deal with college stress, personal family drama, a self-reckoning that made me restart my YouTube career, having to cut some people out of my life, and as usual, certain real-life global events taking a toll on my mental health. Maybe it is just a year, or those are the perks of growing up. And with 2025 promising to be just as rough, there's likely gonna be a lot of mental preparation for me in these coming days. But no matter what, I'm still gonna be standing. Even with all of the obstacles in the way, I'm hoping to at least make this year somewhat tolerable. Will I succeed? Who knows? Only time is gonna tell. Have a safe new year. And until next time, I'm Miyachi. See you later, Tama friends. Hey, we're already off to a great start.